the 38th chapter from the Holy Quran was descended in the holy city of Mecca with 88 verses. And indeed, once we recite the 38th chapter, Surah Sad, we realize that Surah Sad is a continuation of the message of Surah As-Saffat, which was number 37. However, there's a big question here. Was Surah Sad revealed after Surah As-Saffat so that it contains a continued message? The answer is no. And this is why I would like to introduce two very important notions from the Holy Quran to you this evening. One is that scholars of tafsir, some of the scholars of tafsir, believe that the very first ayat of every chapter are connected to the last ayat of the chapter. So a notion, a theme, a phenomenon is introduced within a chapter, within a surah, in the very early ayat. And then we are reminded in the conclusion of the chapter with the same message, with the same theme. So that we understand whatever is mentioned in between is actually an explanation of this grand theme within the surah. And obviously, that is something that I also believe in. By examining every chapter, I believe there is some sort of connection between the beginning and the end of every surah. And we can take a look. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the chapter prior to this, chapter 37, He speaks of وَالصَّافَّاتِ صَفًّا فَالزَّاجِرَاتِ زَجْرًا فَالتَّالِيَاتِ ذِكْرًا إِنَّ إِلَهَكُمْ لَوَاحِدٌ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of the angels in this chapter, description of the angels. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the end of Surah As-Saffat as well makes a reference to the very beginning of it. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. And prior to that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a reference to the angels. Here, Allah again in chapter 38, صاد والقرآن ذي الذكر بل الذين كفروا في عزة وشقاق. In the end of the chapter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again speaks of dhikr. إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins every chapter and ends every chapter with the same theme. That's one. Number two is that every chapter is a continuation of the message of the chapter prior to it. They're somehow connected. They're somehow related. Now obviously this is not a chronicle order of the descension of the chapters. And here is where the grand miracle of the Quran lies. What do I mean? This is the first part, the first notion, the first phenomenon. Is that a chapter begins with, ends with the same message. The second one is that each chapter is connected to the one prior to it. And obviously this is not a chronicle order of descension of the chapters. No. If we look at the chapters and the way they were revealed, it's much different than how they are organized here. And I believe this is a miracle of the Quran. This is one of the greatest miracles of the Quran. Within 23 years, the Quran was being revealed in small bits and pieces. But in Laylatul Qadr, the entire Quran would be revealed to Rasulullah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the Quran, but also when events took place, bits and pieces were revealed, which shows that this Quran is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who knows the future and who knows the events, who knows what will happen and how He will react to it. But yet He's revealed this Quran prior to it happening. This was the first miraculous nature of the Quran. And second is how Allah then ordered for this Quran to be compiled. Because that Quran was miraculous for the time of the Muslim community then. Listen. But is the Quran only for that time? Is the Quran only for that community then? The Quran is an eternal book. The Quran is meant to guide people for the rest of times. So Allah changed the structure of the Quran from the chronicle order to this order. Why this order? Because this order is the most comprehensive for any person to begin studying the Quran. And that is why the messages continue. Each chapter is connected to the one prior to it. Chapter 37 is connected to 36. 36 is connected to 35. 35 is connected to 34 and likewise. But you know where the greatest miracle now lies? You would love this. From chapter 10 to chapter 47, they are all revealed in Mecca, so it only makes sense that, they're somehow related, connected, that's fine. But therefore lies 4 chapters within this list from 10 to 47 that were revealed in Medina and not revealed in Mecca. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders that 4 out of 37 break the sequence. Why? Because the ones in Medina now fit right in this part of the Quran. Chapter 13, chapter 22, chapter 24, and chapter 33 are the ones that break this rhythm of the chapters revealed in Mecca, one after another. Break the sequence. Why? If you go and you read them and you study them, you realize, alaykum as-salam, that they are part of making this, creating this beautiful picture, drawing this beautiful picture of the Holy Quran.